Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
And this one's worth maybe about $100.
Wow.
These two ceramic pieces, discarded by the guest's aunt's mother-in-law and rescued by the guest's mother, hold a fascinating history. Both are from Doulton, Lambeth, an English factory known for its work from the 1860s to the 1880s.
Did this type of work in the 1860s through the 1880s.
The first piece, a decorative vase, represents Doulton Lambeth's commercial wares, featuring a lovely blue and green glaze.
On the bottom here, we have the marks, Doulton Lambeth, mold marks, painter's marks, and it would be considered your ordinary piece of Doulton Lambeth.
It is a testament to the factory's assembly line production. The second piece, a figurine of a man playing the piano, holds greater artistic value. It bears the mark of George Tinworth, a renowned sculptor associated with Royal Doulton. Despite a minor damage to the hat, this figurine, due to its artistic significance, is valued at around
about $2,500.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
And this one's worth maybe about $100.
Wow.
Really? Wow. What would he say?
You've brought along a football, a bronze, some medals, and a picture, all part of your grandfather's story, Frank Edwards, the footballer of Lou. This photo shows him with his brother in the uniform he would have worn.
And of course it was those masses who were fighting the war. They were the men in the trenches. They were the men who had to go over the top.
Football was incredibly popular during World War I, especially among the soldiers who fought in the trenches. Our guest's grandfather went a step further, kicking the football into battle, a symbolic act of defiance and solidarity with his comrades. He was shot and wounded after the first kick, but the football continued to be passed among his friends.
Eventually, it ended up over the enemy lines.
Our guest's grandfather's football was later found on a piece of wire in the German lines and is now preserved in the London Irish Barracks Museum. This football is a piece of wartime history that holds great value, estimated to be between
£10,000 and £15,000.
Really? Wow. What would he say?
My father said if he ever went on the Antique Roadshow that he would bring this quilt.
The guest brought in a quilt that belonged to their grandfather's aunt, who lived on a farm in Kentucky around the 1890s. It is a Victorian crazy quilt, a type of quilt characterized by its irregular-shaped patches of fabric. While many Victorian ladies made or owned crazy quilts, this particular piece is one of the finest examples you will see. What made this quilt so special were the exceptional details. The tufted calla lily, reminiscent of the 17th century English needlework, and the three-dimensional birds and swans. These elements elevated the quilt far beyond the typical flat crazy quilt, which typically sold for around $300. Recognizing the quilt's rarity, craftsmanship, and exquisite details, the auction estimate for this item is
between $3,000 and $5,000.
Oh, great. Wow. My father said if he ever went on the Antique Roadshow that he would bring this quilt.
That was a little bit more than I expected.
This sculpture features Ralph Waldo Emerson, a renowned American philosopher from the 19th century, crafted by the prominent American sculptor Daniel Chester French. French, known for iconic works like the Lincoln Memorial statue in Washington, D.C., and the Minuteman sculpture in Concord, Massachusetts, created this piece in 1879. The sculpture, cast around the turn of the century by the Jules Burcham Foundry in Chicago, is a rare find, as French primarily focused on monumental sculptures.
Roughly the same period that French was working, they cast a number of sculptures by prominent artists of the period. Most of his career was spent doing monumental sculpture.
Despite being discovered in an antique store in central Wisconsin, where it was mismarked and undervalued, the piece's quality and historical significance are evident. The sculpture's exquisite casting and detailed modeling capture Emerson's persona, making it a desirable piece for collectors. Despite minor condition issues, this sculpture's auction value is estimated between
Bring in the $15,000 to $25,000 range.
Wow. That was a little bit more than I expected.
And a little bit more than the $500.
A little bit more than $500 too.
This is a kaleidoscope of Tiffany's artistry, captured in vibrant glass. Initially drawn to Tiffany's work due to its remarkable colors and artistry, the guest purchased the inkwell after reading about it in an antique article. Unlike typical Tiffany inkwells, which are often part of a desk set, this piece stands alone as a testament to Tiffany's craftsmanship.
When we think about inkwells with Tiffany, we think about their bronze inkwells.
The inkwell features vibrant colors and a distinctive wave decoration. Despite some condition issues on the bronze lid from tape marks, it retains its charm and elegance. Marked with LCT and an H, followed by a 3-digit number indicating its early production, this exquisite piece is estimated to be worth
of $6,000 to $8,000. There's a pretty strong possibility that it would sell for even more money than that.
The guest originally acquired this censer as a combined birthday and Christmas gift from their mother in 1965 for $350. It was appraised in 1982 for $20,000, likely for insurance purposes. The censer featured loose, articulated rings on the handles and relief carving of lotus vines with a butterfly forming the handle. When turned around, the lotus vines could be seen sprouting from a single source, showcasing exquisite craftsmanship. The detailing on the piece was mesmerizing, as you could see the delicate lines on the flower petals adding to its allure. The carving, although reminiscent of 18th century works by the Qing period, was likely done in the early 20th century. With the influx of buyers from China in recent years, the market for such pieces has changed, with prices now ranging from
in the $50,000 to $80,000 range at auction, which is a pretty good price.
Well, it's still a very nice birthday present.
The guest presented a Kentucky dressing table made around 1805 to 1810 in central Kentucky. It belonged to the guest's great-grandmother and has been passed down through generations. This table is distinguished by its Kentucky characteristics, including inlaid bellflowers, dots, and diamonds on the legs. Despite being referred to as a sewing table, this piece is a ladies' dressing table, making it even more special and rare.
It's rarer than that.
Okay.
It's one of only 4 or 5 known in the world.
Made of walnut, which is unusual for Kentucky furniture, the table features a small, delicate design that adds to its charm and value. Also, the table's original rose head nails and untouched drawer bottoms indicate its excellent condition and authenticity. While this piece has been refinished over the years, this does not diminish its value, given its unique qualities and historical provenance, with a price value of
$20,000 to $30,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
This piece is a beautiful painting of a mother and her child on a garden bench. The painting was given to our guest by her mother-in-law and was painted by an esteemed French artist called James-Jacques Tissot in 1884. Using a meticulous mezzotint technique, Tissot skillfully added tonal gradations to the canvas, enhancing its depth and texture. He named the piece La Banque des Jardins, which translates to garden bench in English, and offers a window into a serene moment amidst nature's embrace. What makes this piece unique is that it's a proof of a print with Tissot's name scratched into the margin, unlike the published versions. James Tissot's paintings incorporated elements of realism, impressionism, and academic art. As seen in this work, we can clearly see what Tissot was most known for during the peak of his career: people and women's fashion. A proof of a painting that shows Tissot's abilities and resonates with the work he was mostly known for would be auctioned between
$4,000 and $6,000.
Wow.
So it was a nice acquisition on your part.
Oh my goodness, wow. Well, my cousin gave it to me. She'll probably want it back now.
Right here is a melodious piece in the form of Norwegian hardanger fiddle. This piece is a cherished heirloom with a rich history. Originally belonging to the guest's great-grandfather, this instrument is a significant piece of Norwegian heritage. The hardanger fiddle is known for its intricate design and unique sound, making it highly prized among Norwegian immigrants. Crafted in Bo Telemark, a region renowned for its hardanger fiddles, this instrument features traditional Norwegian decorations including rosettes along the edges and a lion's head, symbolizing Norway's national identity.
Is to the Norwegian hardanger fiddle as cremona is to the violin world.
One of the distinctive features of this piece is its sympathetic strings, which add depth and resonance to its sound.
We only need one of these because of the sympathetic strings. They have a huge, huge sound.
Despite some missing parts and signs of wear, this piece retains its beauty and historical significance. Made from native Norwegian woods with inlaid mother-of-pearl and decorated bone, this piece is a testament to the craftsmanship of its time that's valued at
$8,000 to $9,000.
Oh my goodness, wow. Well, my cousin gave it to me. She'll probably want it back now.
She brought a rabbit that had been given for her first Easter in 1932. A German Knotter rabbit from around 1900 would likely be a collectible, possibly made from ceramic or porcelain. They often feature intricate designs and delicate craftsmanship. The knotting mechanism, usually a spring or wire, lets the head move with a gentle touch or surface disturbance with mouth moves. This is more of an early 1900s type piece. It's got a couple of minor condition issues, like a missing little foot here. There's a tear in one ear over there. The ears are slightly loose, but overall it's in fairly decent condition. These figurines were often decorative pieces displayed in homes or used as toys. The appraiser valued this German rabbit
for around $4,000.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
She brought in a wing that once belonged to her great-uncle, knowing only that he served in World War I. Their great-uncle was part of the Aero Squad of the 19th Balloon Company. The Military Aeronaut Wing, 1920, likely denotes a badge worn by military aviation unit members from the time. Military aviators often wore distinctive wings or insignia to signify their role and expertise. This specific style of wing is sometimes referred to as a balloon pilot wing by some individuals. These wings serve not only as symbols of pride and identity for aviators, but also as markers of skill and experience. Pilots earned various types of wings reflecting their training, combat experience, and specific roles in the air service. On the back, there's a mark indicating it's from the first batch made at the Philadelphia Mint. Its short production window and limited quantity make it rare and valuable. The Military Aeronaut Wing earned significant appraisal from the appraiser.
$2,500 and $3,000.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's impressive.
Guest bought this French compote many years ago for just 25 cents at a rummage sale. Artist behind this is Gabriel Argy Rousseau. This piece is an early 20th century French pate de verre compote. Gabriel Argy Rousseau was born in 1885 and worked in the early 20th century. He was involved in molding ground-up glass paste into various colors. It's a technique that dates back centuries but saw a revival in France during the late 19th to early 20th century. Let's see the sweet outcome of a mere 25-cent investment.
$4,000 to $6,000.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's impressive.
Value of this piece has dropped to between $3,500 and $5,000. At a local auction, the guest snagged this captivating dog portrait for just $100. This painting is by Karl Reichart, a renowned Austrian artist celebrated for his animal portraits, particularly of dogs. Reichart's typical works showcase either anecdotal scenes or portraits of purebred dogs. He focuses on capturing facial expressions rather than depicting the entire body. Notable intricate details, such as the dog's expressive eyes and the historic dog collar, stand out. These collars are highly sought-after collectibles today. Its quality and historical significance make it worth between
about $4,000 to $6,000 on it.
Current value of the portrait has been appraised at $2,000 to $3,000. A decorative art piece was brought by the guest purchased from an antique shop. The item was believed to be a copper church collection plate. However, the appraiser identified it as Jewish art, specifically a charity collection plate used in synagogues. It was likely made of copper and originated from Poland or Eastern Europe in the mid-1800s. Upon careful inspection, the appraiser observed traces of Hebrew lettering. Furthermore, the item exhibited significant wear and tear, including a damaged latch, suggesting it had undergone repairs. Despite its condition, Judaica items are rare and highly valued. How much luck would this exceptional piece bring for the guest?
$1,000 at auction. What a nice piece.
This remarkable pocket watch, once owned by the guest's father-in-law, a local businessman in Knoxville, who operated his business for over 30 years, despite being legally blind due to retinitis, holds a special place in guest's family's history. Crafted with a 14-karat solid gold case and chain, this open-face pocket watch features a porcelain dial with Arabic numerals.
Nice and clean watch. The movement is so beautiful. Everything is bright and shiny.
Made by the Wittnauer Watch Company circa 1925 in Switzerland, it later became part of Longines Wittnauer, renowned for their precision timepieces for over 125 years. What sets this watch apart is its minute repeater function, chiming on the hours and minutes, a feature that would have particularly appealed to the guest's father-in-law, given his interest in such intricate mechanisms. This unique pocket watch is valued at approximately
Should bring about $7,500.
Holy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
An artwork was brought by the guest, who received it as a wedding gift from his cousin. It was created by their uncle, John Cullen Murphy, 30 years ago. Originally, the Prince Valiant comic strip was created by Hal Foster in 1937 and ran until 1970. When Foster decided to step back, Murphy was chosen to continue the strip. The appraiser explained the history of Murphy taking over, which became an honor for his family.
For the first few years early on, Foster would send over kind of roughed out or drawn out pieces, and then Murphy would finish them up. And then Murphy took over the strip later on himself.
Over time, the value of the strips declined without Foster's involvement in the storyline. Despite this, the appraiser praised the artwork and expressed gratitude. The item evaluation was acknowledged by the guest.
I would probably put an auction estimate somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000.
Our guest acquired this from his aunt, and once gracing a lamp for 50 years, this Marblehead Pottery tile from Marblehead, Massachusetts, is a testament to early 20th century craftsmanship. Originating from Dr. Herbert Hall's sanitarium-turned-pottery workshop in 1904, this tile reflects the arts and crafts movement with its stylized trees and serene pond scene.
It's painted in matte glazes.
While Marblehead Pottery primarily focused on pottery, their tiles are exceptionally rare, making this piece a unique find. Despite its rarity, the tile does have hairline cracks, which slightly impact its value. Considered the finest Marblehead tile the appraiser has ever seen, at auction, this Marblehead Pottery tile could fetch
Somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000.
My goodness, really?
Okay. With the hairline crack, it'll be somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000.
Oh my heavens. I'm carting it around in a plastic bag.
This exquisite silk Kashan rug, dating back to around 1918 to 1920, holds a rich history, likely acquired by the guest's grandparents, possibly in Europe, during the 1920s. Despite being in the family for generations, it has remained in impeccable condition.
And then when we inherited it, we have dogs, so we didn't put it out then either.
Right, good. That's a good choice.
We enjoy it very, very much. And
this careful preservation has kept its silk pile luxuriously full, a rarity for rugs of this age and material. A recent appraisal valued the rug at $3,000, but its true worth far exceeds this estimate. Made in Kashan, Central Persia, modern-day Iran, this silk rug features an incredibly fine knot count estimated at 600 to 800 knots per square inch, showcasing its exceptional craftsmanship. The rug's intricate design and well-preserved condition make it highly sought after by collectors. If auctioned today, it could easily fetch an estimated
It would be $15,000 to $20,000.
wow!
And it would probably be conservative.
Wow.
It could easily sell for more than that.
A Chippendale chest on chest, dating back to the late 1700s, holds a cherished place in this guest's family history, passed down through generations on their father's side. Originating from a renowned old Philadelphia family, this piece was actually crafted in southeastern Massachusetts or Rhode Island.
or Rhode Island. So it was not made in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It dates from about 1800 at the tail end of the Chippendale period.
Despite an earlier appraisal in 2005 valuing it at $20,000, its true worth lies in its material and craftsmanship. Made of tiger maple, collectors prize it for its premium quality and unique tiger maple grain.
You can actually feel the tiger maple in the moldings.
Yeah.
Featuring a delightful carved fan at the top and original Chippendale brasses, this chest-on-chest retains its originality and charm, appealing to enthusiasts who value untouched period pieces. The piece's condition is impeccable, with original feet and glue blocking, ensuring its authenticity and integrity. This antique's retail value remains around
Of $20,000 would be an appropriate retail value today.
Oh, that's better than I thought.
The guest introduces a combination table they received from a friend about 40 years ago, who no longer needed it. They were drawn to its design and decided to keep it. The appraiser examines the table, noting that it was made by the Combination Table Company and
got two patent dates, if we look at the plaque, of 1893 and 1896, which is sort of two designs, refined designs and patents.
they explain that the table represents turn-of-the-century American furniture design and manufacturing. The appraiser demonstrates the table's functionality, showing how it can be converted from a shelving unit to a
table. They usually have sort of about three positions.
They mention that such tables were often used as store displays. The appraiser mentions that not much is known about the Combination Table Company, but it was later bought by the Usurper Company. They express admiration for the table's design and versatility. If the table were to be auctioned, the appraiser estimates its value to be between
I'd probably estimate it at $800 to $1,200.
Okay. Oh, that's better than I thought.
These antique Kwakiutl masks stand as silent sentinels of ancestral customs and rituals. The masks showcased by this guest formerly belonged to his wife's father. Fascinatingly, these masks were crafted on the north end of the Vancouver Island by the group of natives formerly known as the Kwakiutl, or the Kwakiutl. There are two different kinds of masks presented. The three masks seen here at the bottom are known as frontlets, often used by chiefs in traditional social ceremonies. It's no surprise that at auction they could sell for.
You're looking in the neighborhood of $6,000 to $8,000.
Featured on these masks are a series of holes and some inlays of abalone shell. Furthermore, the mask above was used in winter ceremonies, worn on a ceremonious night by dancers. At auction, it would fetch a value of
In the neighborhood of $20,000 to $25,000 on the large Thunderbird.
These masks were individually owned, eliminating legality issues in the commercial market. 3 of these masks represent a Thunderbird, and they would be valued at auction around
That's in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000.
and another representing a beaver, also fetching a tidy sum at auction at around
$10,000, $12,000, $14,000.
Additionally, these masks date back to the early 20th century, except for this one, which dates back to the 19th century. Overall, these fascinating items are nicely preserved for their age and are highly desirable, with a large market demand pushing their auction values higher.
There's a reason why it's taken 7 years to find masks like this coming in the Roadshow. They're not that common.
Yes.
The appraiser examines a Russian shaded enamel creamer, noting its exceptional craftsmanship. They point out the use of shading in the cloisons, which add to its fine quality. Our guest agrees, acknowledging the exquisite workmanship of the piece. Appraiser emphasizes the remarkable condition of the creamer considering its age. The appraiser mentions that such a Russian cloison creamer from around 1900 could fetch between $1,500 and $2,000. The guest recounted the story of acquiring a pottery piece from his father-in-law's family. The item was identified as Acoma Pueblo pottery, originating from Mexico. They are renowned for their unique type of clay, which is thin-walled and has a whitish color. Additionally, Acoma pots feature a distinctive orangey coloration at the bottom. Despite some surface deterioration, the pot was remarkably well preserved considering its size. The appraiser praised the designs on the pot, which were influenced by prehistoric pottery motifs. The piece showcased exceptional craftsmanship and the artist's virtuosity. Given the size and rarity of the special piece, the appraised value was
would bring $8,000 to $12,000.
The appraiser admires a folk art keg carving with a humorous label that reads, Kentucky Whiskey. On the back it says, His spirit rests in private stock. Our guest suggests that the carving may have been created during the Prohibition era. The appraiser agrees, indicating that the humor of the label likely dates back to the Prohibition period when the production and sale of alcohol were prohibited. The value of such folk art keg carvings, dating to around 1920, could range from $1,500 to $2,500. Standing as a timeless testament to the craftsmanship of yesteryears, invoking a sense of reverence for the passage of time itself, is a tall grandfather clock and case. Passed down through generations, this clock reminds us to cherish the beauty of the past while embracing the promise of the future. The old clock still sings the same song, tick-tock, after many years.
But the precious old clock still sings the same song, tick-tick.
A peculiar feature of this wooden clock's case is its depth, indicating it's a unique wooden works movement and not a brass movement. Its gears and plates are made of wood, driving its weight-driven mechanism. The clock was made by a clockmaker called William Stillman in Connecticut, January 1791, which was when the case, too, was made.
And it says Bristol in Connecticut, and it has January 1791, which is right for the case in terms of its age.
Another interesting thing about this piece is the dial. It's an original dial and has 2 seat boards. Improvements have been made by incorporating a brass movement into the wooden works, extending its running time to 8 days compared to the typical 30-hour duration of a wooden works movement. A timepiece like this with its rich history, craftsmanship with meticulous restorations holding not just functional value, but also serving as a cherished piece of art would sell in the range of
$5,000 to $7,000. If it had its original movement, I think we're probably talking about a $15,000 clock.
Marvel at the intricate craftsmanship of this traveling toy crane. This toy was graciously presented by our guest and belonged to his grandfather. Upon closer inspection of the crane's frames, we can discern the manufacturer's mark. It was crafted by the Kenton Morgan Toy Company in Kenton, Ohio.
Question, it's a toy made by the Kenton Toy Company in Kenton, Ohio.
This remarkable toy dates back to the 1920s or 1930s, making it an exceedingly rare find. Furthermore, the crane's design is intricate, adding to its overall allure and magnificence. It is fully functional and can accurately demonstrate the workings of larger cranes. However, there's a little break on one of its support frames and some damage on the crane's lever. Assembling a toy of such complexity is no easy feat, and its rarity makes it truly fascinating. The damages incurred are also very easily repairable. An item like this would likely command a significant value at auction around
$10,000 to $12,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
This piece, with its unparalleled beauty and historical significance, captures the essence of timeless elegance. This guest showcases an Australian gold nugget on the show, which has been in her family for many years. The entire bracelet is crafted from a series of authentic gold nuggets.
The bracelet is made up of a series of real gold nuggets.
Featured on the bracelet is a carving of a kangaroo into the nuggets, a true work of art. Interestingly, Australia has a storied history of gold rushes and gold nuggets that significantly impacted the country's development. Gold nugget bracelets serve as tangible reminders of that era. This piece was likely worn by a wealthy individual as a souvenir from Australia. An item of such significance to Australia's history, especially in perfect condition, would undoubtedly fetch an auction value of around
$12,000 to $15,000, and if not in New York, certainly in Australia.
That's nice to know. Very nice to know.
The beauty of this vintage gold necklace is absolutely mesmerizing. Inherited from her grandmother, this guest presents a dazzling golden necklace. This piece weighs 14 carats in yellow gold, and it was made circa the 1870s. The box in which the necklace came is also an important part of the item. Opening up the box reveals the maker's mark, which says Tiffany Company. Tiffany Company were important retailers and manufacturers of jewelry in the late 19th century America. Furthermore, the cross and reeded chain have a hollow link, which was machine-made.
These are hollow links that are machine-made.
Because this piece isn't signed, it is good to always keep it with the box to serve as a testament to its authenticity. This dazzling, elaborately decorated, and designed necklace exudes the nostalgia of a bygone era. It is also a symbol of the craftsmanship from back in the day, and at auction, this item would be valued at around
$3,000 and $4,000. For insurance purposes, it should probably be insured for about $9,000.
Oh, that much.
An unusual-looking piece, a sculpture, is presented today before us. It's a glass sculpture made in a city near Venice, Italy. The sculpture was made using Venetian glass. As with sculptures made with Venetian glass, we can see its translucency and the wide array of vibrant and rich colors from it. The sculpture wasn't made by Picasso, as he didn't work on glass, but was made by a glass company called IVR Mazzega, that is based on the island of Murano,
IVR Mazzega on the island of Murano,
and was molded in a Picasso-esque way, as we can see a variation of cubism and distorted forms. Crafted in the 1950s, the sculpture has a minimalist and modern design. This piece, made with Venetian glass known for its exceptional quality, features a Picasso-inspired design. Well crafted, and as well as interest in Italian glass, would bring between
$4,000 and $6,000. It's a really good example of a fine representation of an important artist.
The guest got lucky on this one. She found a set of 4 woodcuts, a type of printmaking technique, in her backyard alley. They are Escher prints, created by the famous Dutch graphic artist M.C. Escher, known for his mind-bending works featuring interlocking shapes and impossible perspectives. Given the reputation of the artist and the fact the prints are a set of 4, the estimated auction value is
$3,000 to $5,000.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
No, I had no idea. I guess I'll take it out of the closet now and be a little more careful with it.
This model cradle has been cherished in the guest's family since the late 1890s, a gift from their great-grandfather who taught Indian children in New Mexico. Despite its age, the cradle showcases intricate beadwork, with the pink beads indicating its plains origin, specifically Comanche.
Kiowa and Comanche both made this type of cradle. I actually think this one is Comanche, which is a little rarer yet than the Kiowa.
Over the years, some beadwork has worn off, but the cradle's overall condition is good. The hood features a rawhide liner, and the drop, once buckskin, retained its original yellow dye. Comanche influence is evident in the crescent moons and the choice of colors, with medium-value beads like pink and blue being characteristic of their work. While restoration, estimated between $500 and $1,000, is needed to repair the beadwork, once restored, the cradle could be valued between
Worth about $30,000 to $40,000.
Wow. No, I had no idea. I guess I'll take it out of the closet now and be a little more careful with it.
These pieces hold a deep connection to the guest's heritage, originating from their dad's family, spanning an impressive 13 generations. The lineage traces back to the early 1630s when the first family member arrived in Providence, Rhode Island. The items, a USS frigate President and a British ship Endymion, likely date between 1830 and 1850. They are believed to be inspired by Bowen's Naval Monument, an 1830 publication from Boston. Intriguingly, the items show signs of being carved by different artisans. While one piece features intricate details reminiscent of formal scrimshaw, the other exhibits a more rustic folk art style.
From Bowen's was probably carved by one person, and then the little extra details were added by another person who wasn't quite as formal a scrimshander.
The tooth depicting the American ship and flag, along with an eagle, is thought to represent a longing for home during the sailors' lengthy voyages, which could span over 2 years. The most enchanting aspect of the tooth is its inscription, capturing the longing and romance of the sea, reading, "When the evening sun declineth upon the silent seas, Evening stars so sweetly shineth. Then, dear girl, think of me. Despite minor condition issues, these teeth form a harmonious pair, symbolizing the enduring connection between sailors and loved ones. Their combined retail value is estimated at
Is $25,000.
Wow. This silver tankard, dating back to 1752, was presented to our guest's great-great-great-grandfather in 1844 by a coursing club just outside of London. The club appreciated his work as a judge and for his duties with them. Coursing is the sport of chasing small game, like foxes and hares, with a pack of 2 dogs. While the sport has evolved over time, it no longer involves live game due to changes in the law. English silver has always been highly valued, often traded and sold based on the number of ounces of solid silver. This tankard was originally plain, but was later embellished with hunting scenes by a silversmith.
And engraved it with the various hunting scenes, and then the inscription was engraved on it to be presented to your ancestor.
William Atwood, our guest's ancestor, was not just a judge, but also a sportsman who trained dogs for the sport. The tankard's value today is estimated to be between
$3,000 and $5,000.
Wow.
Today on the show, we have this revival table from ancient Egypt that showcases the cleverness and skill of a civilization admired throughout history. Passed down to the guest by her mother-in-law, who was an antique dealer. It's a library table with a pyramid base and King Tut's head inlaid on it.
I would describe this as an Egyptian revival table.
Possibly from 3 time periods: the early 19th century, late 19th century, and the 1920s. The craftsmanship suggests that this piece is more likely from the 1920s, made in America using mahogany, oak, and walnut.
I think it's an American piece. One of the reasons I would say that is the woods in it. There's mahogany, there's an oak, and there's also walnut.
We see that the table has a wonderful pyramid base that's very eye-catching. And it also features an impressive paw feet reminiscent of the Sphinx, with taxidermy glass eyes that shine brightly. A table like this, which is a marvel to behold, evoking tales of pharaohs and gods, if seen at a shop, would sell for
$8,500 for it.
Oh, that's great.